Webinar is now live. Okay. Um, I don't know who all is out there, but thank you for being out there. I'm like 10, maybe even 15 minutes late, and I totally apologize. I had some technical difficulties. I had to reboot to get everything started up again, and uh, it was a good experience because now I know that I need to totally be ready right at whatever time that I assign. But I thought I was ready, but it took a while to figure out how to get everything up and running, and I totally apologize for the delay. That was totally my fault, and I want to apologize for that. So today will probably be just 30 minutes. I think that's how I have it set, but we're going to try to keep it, as concise as possible. But again, I want to apologize because that was just not acceptable. But those things do happen, and here we are. And I'm hoping that everything is all good. I hope that we're recording. It looks like that we are. Looks like the audio is good, and yeah. And thank you for being here. Thank you for those that showed up last week or that watched the video from last week, which was our first video. And now we have come into our second week. We're going to do this every Friday and work to bring some value, I really hope, to the trucking community. And even those that are maybe considering another profession, or those that are in another profession, or those that are considering getting into trucking. And then even those that are just dealing with certain things in life. I mean, we're not talking about any major things where I need a degree or some kind of certificate, to be able to help. But we are just talking about some life, some things that we deal with in life, in our daily life, when we are, especially at work. But yet, it's so parallel, when we're talking about life and we're talking about our professional life and our personal life. Um, they do relate. They're very similar. Why? It's because we're dealing with people. And that is what makes the biggest difference, is that we are dealing with people. So to be successful in our personal life, I am not the person that is going to give, life lessons in regards to being, that person that you want to be, should be, and all that. But I can give some tips, and I think that that is what we bring here. But in the trucking industry, want to do the same thing, to be able to bring some tips, to bring some things that are going to help you to be successful. And today, what I want to talk about is, well, last week we talked about mindset. That was the main thing about last week, to kind of kick us off and get us started. And talking about mindset, I mean, it's really mindset is everything, you know, um, whether you are employed, under an employer, or you're doing your own thing. Mindset matters 100%. And so with that, I was thinking of some things to talk about this week, but I wanted to stay on the theme of mindset. And the reason being is, all week there were things that were coming up that went back to mindset, whether I was talking to someone on a professional level or talking to someone on a personal level. It just seemed like, it's kind of like when you buy a car and you've never noticed this car anywhere. This is the greatest car that 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 you think was made, and you bought it, but then all of a sudden you see the car everywhere, right? So in talking about mindset last week, it seems like it just came up on a daily basis, and there were people that really appreciated what we talked about and the information that we put out. We put out a lot of information. We put out a mindset guide. I think it's really good, especially when you go back and you review it. So if anyone would like that guide, please let me know. You can reach me at 1-800, I'm sorry, 866-342-0040, extension 109. Again, that's 866-342-0040, extension 109. And then also you can reach me by email. We'll go with support@fr8connect.com. So that's SUPPORT at are the digit 8connect.com. Okay. And just say, you'd be interested in receiving the guide, the mindset guide. And please leave your name, your number, your email address, at least your email address, and I can make sure that I get that to you. Okay. And if there's anything else that you, want to mention, please do. So, mindset. So a part of mindset, what has been coming up all week to me, what I recognized was that a lot of people were challenged, whether they knew it or not, with the topic of comfort zone. All right. Comfort zone, when you think about it, and this is not me looking it up to find the definition of comfort zone, this is what it means to me, or the way I see it. And real simple, it's that comfort zone, you have in a box that you stay in where you feel comfortable. There's an area that you feel comfortable in. It has boundaries, right? And as we get closer to those boundaries, this comfort zone, it automatically pushes us back to the center. It doesn't want us to get too close to the edge or to go outside of the boundary where we feel comfortable. And so what ends up happening is we stay there. And when we stay there, we don't find growth. Because growth is on the outside. It's on the outside of those boundaries, right? Now, okay, we are about helping carriers, shippers, brokers to connect with other people, to be able to seek out and be able to identify opportunities. When challenges come up, how do we address those challenges so that we can, obviously, to fix whatever needs to be fixed, but also there's an opportunity there for growth, and there's an opportunity there to build stronger relationships. And that's a part of growth as well, personally and for the business. Okay. But when we're in our comfort zone, those are things that we do not get to experience, right? And I'm sure there's so many different things, so many ways that we can, examples that we can bring that talk about comfort zone, or that give examples as to what comfort zone would look like. Okay. I don't know, some things to, and I took a lot of notes. Talking about comfort zone here, I will put it out there to you like this. Doing this right now, this video, it is not in my comfort zone. I am totally outside of the box right now. Okay. So if you see me, you're watching me on this video and you see me in this square box, you see me on your screen, right? Right there where I'm at is totally outside of this box. It's outside of this. I am totally outside of your frame in terms of me being comfortable. This is not my natural, normal thing to do. But there's a reason that I'm doing it. Is it to make money? Is it for exposure? Is it for just to be able to talk? No, for me, the reason I'm doing this is I've always liked to see things grow, right? And that is even being supportive of that growth. And this is me being supportive of that growth. So those that see the video, I am hoping that whatever we put out is going to help you in terms of your journey to growing, whether it's on a personal level or whether it's on a professional level, whether you want to call it mentorship or whatever you want to call it. I just want to be able to put something out that helps others to grow, because there are so many ideas, so many dreams that are out there, and unfortunately, they never get exposed. They never have a chance to mature because we stay in our comfort zone. That idea was given to you, not to anyone else. Whatever that vision is, it was given to you. And you're the only one. There might be others that have an idea, similar idea. There might be others out there that have the exact same idea, right? Don't allow that to be a concern. There might be others out there who don't believe in your idea. Don't allow that to hold you back, right? Because when we are in our comfort zone, nothing grows, right? We actually go backwards because as things move on, we're here. We're right here as things move on, and are to catch up takes a lot more effort, and that should not be the case, right? We are all different. No one is the same. We don't have the same thoughts. I mean, there can be an idea that you have, a solution or whatever it is, but how to get there, it doesn't have to be the same, right? You can have your own vision of how to get to that solution or whatever it is that, idea that you come up with. So for someone to come along and say, no, that's not right thinking, or that idea doesn't make sense, or that's not, if they have nothing to provide you to help you to move forward or to help you figure it out, I wouldn't listen to them. I would not listen to them. If all they have is criticism, I would not listen to them. Okay. But and so the thing is that with comfort zone, it isolates us from all the noise, all the distractions, all the challenges that may come our way. And for anything to grow, there has to be challenges. I mean, when we're talking about on a professional level, we have to go through something. We have to go through challenges in order to grow, in order for our idea to grow. You might be on the job and you come up with a great idea, and the boss is like, nope, that's stupid, or nope, that's not what we're going to do. That doesn't mean you throw it away. Don't do that. I was in a situation where I've been in many situations, right? Where there was something to hold me back, and that's from a young kid all the way to now. You're gonna even have people around you that have been around you for a long time. They're gonna be family members. There's gonna be friends. There's gonna be a lot of people that are gonna not support you, whether they directly tell you that they don't support you or just in their actions. You know, maybe there's never a time that they bring up the what your venture, whatever it is that you're doing, or maybe when you do bring it up, there is no conversation, you know. So for that, you definitely have to understand. You don't have to understand exactly where that's coming from, but you have to understand that it can exist, right? And when it exists, it's nothing personal in the sense that you are doing anything wrong. You're not thinking wrong. You're not, it's not a bad idea. Maybe, I mean, we come up with bad ideas, yeah. But sometimes we have to go through the process to understand that it's a bad idea, or it just might be, there may have to be some adjustments made, and that's okay. But we have to go through a process in order to even understand that. And with that comes growth. Okay. So all this that I'm saying, again, I have notes, some notes to keep me on track, and I feel like I'm getting off track. But what I'm going to do is this. Okay, so let's go back to say sales, right? And the reason being is I've been doing sales for a long time, and that's really what my area of expertise is sales. Okay, and a lot of people are fearful of sales. And a lot of people have this notion that sales is sleazy, is something that bothers other people. You know, when you reach out to sell someone, that person you're reaching out to, they don't want to hear it. They don't want you calling them. They don't want you knocking on their door. So you basically become a nuisance, you know, someone that not the case. Because when you think about sales, and I'm relating this to trucking as well, this is in any business, you know, sales is, with any business, sales is a must. Sales is required. Because if the word doesn't get out, and if there are not salespeople to present, to reach out, then your product is not known. Your product does not get exposed, right? Now, everyone that you touch is not going to be a prospect, or is not going to be a customer, is not going to become a customer. Some of them it takes longer, right, to become a customer. So everybody fits in a certain category. But we have to go out and we have to pursue and look for these opportunities. We have to go out and look for these customers. And that's in any business. Okay. So when we are talking about reaching out, there are a lot of us who do get into sales, but some of the reasons why we might not be successful at it can be because we feel like we lack something, right? It can be that we lack knowledge of the product, of the industry. We don't know. Now that's something we can learn, right? We even feel like that we feel like some of us feel like we know it all, right? We feel like we know, and that can get in the way, right? And we feel like we know everything about everything. And then there's no room for learning in order to grow. And some of us feel like self-conscious, you know, whether it is the way we sound, the way we look, the way we act, the way we think, you know, all these different things. I mean, there's so many different things that we can feel self-conscious about. And where does that come from? Well, I think that it just evolves over time. You know, from when we're a kid, when we're a baby, we get whatever we want. But as we get older and we can talk and supposedly we know better, the word that we hear a lot is no. Don't do this. Don't do that. Sit down. And it goes on to the point where we are conformed, or that is something that is embedded into our psyche. So when we're out and about, we're very conscious of what we say or what we do, and we're very conscious of what others think when it comes to ourselves. And unfortunately for that, I think that it really hinders our growth. You know, as we get into adulthood, there are risks that we don't take, and it's really not a risk. It's just that we've been told no so much that it becomes challenging. You know, it becomes challenging to move toward an opportunity. You know, an opportunity comes up, and the only thing that we know is no. There might be something that an opportunity we see in front of us, and we do not move toward it. We stay in the background, right? And that can be in sales, that can be in life, that can be in whatever. You know, there are so many things that we could do to take advantage of an opportunity, and it could change our world. You know, it could change our world for that moment, you know, in time. It could change it in a major way. As an example, if I make a phone call, and I guess where I'm going with this, it leads up to being rejected. Rejected that's a heavy word. That's a big word, a heavy duty word, one that we can make light, one that we can actually get rid of, so that it still exists. The word exists, but it has no bearing um, on me seeking out success. We can actually use that as a stepping stool, really. So going back to making phone calls, if I'm on a call, making calls, I've got a list of calls that I need to make. Um, I have found that a lot of salespeople, um, they're very critical of themselves. And when they make that phone call, things that they say, things that they do, they sabotage themselves right up front. You know, some of the language that is used, it might even be like, so, um, hi, I'm calling for this reason. So, you wouldn't be interested in freight services, would you? Why would you start off with a negative? You know, and a lot of times people just want the salesperson, they want to get off the call as quickly as possible. They'll find every excuse in the book to say that that person was busy or they weren't interested. You know, I found this in so many different sales roles. Even in church, I found that to be the case. Um, People seem to be afraid of other people and are afraid of themselves. You know, like I said, this here, what I'm doing right now, it is not in my comfort zone, right? But the more that I do it, there's things that I'm going to learn, mistakes that I'm going to make, like earlier today, but I'm going to learn from it, and I'll be that much better next time. And there will be other things that I will encounter, and I will be better with that in that the time after that. And at some point, I'll look back and I'll be like, wow, I've come a long ways. But the only way that I'm going to experience that is if I get outside of my comfort zone. So in sales, one of the things that we need to do is pick up the phone. That's the very first thing we need to do is pick up that phone. And then we need to make that call. And when we make that phone call, we have to know what to say. Now, it's not the same on every call, but there are sections, of the call, segments of this call that can be learned, and you can go through that process and you'll have a call that is what some call perfect. We can make a perfect call, right? And that can be learned. That can be taught. You know, some people are afraid to ask for help. Some people are afraid to go out and seek help. But to make a phone call, a sales call, I guarantee you it can be taught. And not only can it be taught, it can be fun. It really can be. Even in the rejection, when people say no, there is a lot of there's a lot to learn out of that from that. Okay. If someone rejects me, I can't take it personal. You can't. You know, you hear no all day long. You've heard it when you were a child, you heard it growing up, and now you have to hear it every day on the phone. It depends upon your mindset. That makes the biggest difference. Okay, how does that make a difference? What do you mean? Well, um, if I'm making a call, let's just say this. Let's just throw it out there. I'm going to get rejected probably. Let's say I'm going to get rejected more times than not. If that is the case, what can I do in through the rejections in order to reverse this whole situation in my mind, right? Well, the way I look at it is this. Every call that I make is a practice. That's one. Also, probably before that would be that every call that I make, I'm just talking to people, right? So I'm talking to people, and every call that I make is a practice call. I'm talking to people. That's it. I'm just talking to another person on the other end of the phone. What does that mean? It means exactly what I'm saying. We know people, right? I don't care where you go around the world, people are people. We were all, as far as I know, we were all born on this earth. We were all born from another human being. We're all human beings, right? Um, um, in general, we all have, two arms, two hands, two eyes. The world is made up um, for people that have these limbs, right? This is we anywhere you go around the world, you're going to find steps. I've been overseas. There are steps overseas, in whatever country you go to. People walk up and down steps. People are wearing shoes. People are wearing clothes. People are wearing glasses. People have hair. People have to go to sleep, right? People have to go to work. People have to make money. People have to eat. People laugh. People cry. People sing. People get sick. People get better. People enjoy sports. It's not just an American thing or a Canadian thing or a Kenyan thing or an India thing. I mean, anywhere you go throughout the world. And the world has become smaller due to the internet. I mean, we can hit a button and see what's going on, around the world. We might not understand the language. There may be some cultural things that we see that are different, but other than that, people are the same. People cry. People want what's best for their family. People want to live and have a good, decent life and see their families grow. So when I am making a phone call, I understand this. I understand that people are people. And this person that's on the other end, they're living their life, right? They're living a life. They are here making a living, picking up the phone, answering the phone, and doing whatever they do until 5 o'clock. But they are making a living. And so am I. And when I call them, I have a reason why I'm calling. I have to understand that. I have to understand that when I'm calling, I'm not calling to bug anyone. No, I have something to offer. And that is the key. When I am calling, if I don't believe I have something to offer, a value, that doesn't mean everyone is going to accept what I have to offer. But if I do believe that what I am offering is of value, then it changes the whole idea of making a sales call, right? Because I'm making a call to offer something that could help you or help your business cover a need that you might have or that you might have in the future. And if it doesn't make sense, what I offer to you, so be it. Maybe it's not for that person, and that's okay. But then I move on, okay? Because someone out there does have a need for what I'm offering. So I'm not stressed about getting hung up on or anything like that, They're just a person. There's nothing that can happen beyond them hanging up on me, cursing me out. That's about it. I mean, if you can get through that, get over that, and understand that, hey, there's someone out there, I just got to make that next call, and I'll eventually get to the person that has a need. If you can get through that and understand that it's not every call that's going to hang up on you, it's not every call that's going to curse you out. That very rarely happens. I mean, unless you're doing something crazy, that's not going to happen, right? A lot of times, maybe that person's not available. right? Or no one answers. You might get a lot of that. You may get that we're not interested, but you're not going to get rude after rude after rude. That's not going to happen. It can happen, but it's not going to be the norm. Okay. So with that said, move on. And when you move on, you will be you'll be fine. In that, okay, I understand that. This is how it goes. Let me move to the next one. This is a contact sport. What do I mean by that? How many contacts have you made today? Oh, you made 5 contacts? And how many opportunities out of that did you uncover? None? Well, you got to make more calls. You have to make more contacts. Okay. Oh, after 10, you got one. Great. All right. So we're looking at 10%. So that means you make 100 calls, you're going to get 10 opportunities. That's the way it should roll out. But over time, you'll figure out what those numbers are. But the point is this. This is an individual, a person that it's just another person that I'm reaching out to. Okay. If you, and we won't really talk about it today, but you got to understand that um, when we are talking to someone, we have to be human. We have to understand that they wake up just like us, they have family just like us, and these are different things that we can communicate about when we do make the call and try to look for some common ground. When we come up with common ground, right? It allows us the conversation to open up and to go further, right? Now, there is an art to the sale, right? And that would be a whole nother segment for us to talk about, right? But I just want you to understand that these people that you're reaching out to help you get out of your comfort zone, to get away from thinking about being rejected, these are people just like you and other people that you know in your personal life, right? So to approach someone, I mean, whether it's in a store, a restaurant, I don't know, at the movie theater, at a school, church, whatever, wherever it's at, on the street, I don't have a problem with approaching anyone. And it doesn't matter what country it is. I haven't been in all the countries, but you know, for where I have been, and in traveling and communicating with people, you run into people that are from some other country. You can be in one country, but there's tons of people from other countries. And I have found that wherever you go, people are just people. And when you're able to connect with people, there's so many opportunities that can come of that. And one of them is you're able to learn. You're able to learn about people. The only way that you can do that is by listening, right? But you have nothing to listen to unless you connect with others. And again, there's a whole way of being able to do that, but it can be done and it can be fun. You know, as a CEO, how is a CEO who's in their comfort zone going to be a CEO? They are selling all the time. They are selling in interviews, you know, they're selling when they're talking to all the new hires. They're selling when, on a commercial. They're selling when they're looking to do a joint venture. They're selling when they're talking to their stockholders, their shareholders, when they're talking to their board. They're selling all the time, you know. And we sell all the time. If you think about it, when you're at home, you have family, you guys want to go on a trip, or you're talking about going on a trip, you got to sell that. You got to sell that. Hey, we're going to be going on a trip this year. Maybe it's an easy sell, but then you got to decide where you're going to go, things you're going to do. Somebody says, hey, I want to go to the amusement park. They've got to sell that, right? We're selling all the time. You want to go out for dinner. You got to sell that. You got to sell that. What we're going to do, what are we going to do this weekend? The kids, they have things going on at school. and they want to be involved, and they've got to sell that to you. They want to go to the party. They have to sell that to you. We sell all the time. Excuse me. And for some, we don't realize it. And for some of us, we're pretty good at it, you know. And for some of us, we just need to, that just needs to be brought to our attention. And we all need um, training to help us develop in that area. So if you are in a role, say specifically to sales, as we're talking about here, and when I say sales and trucking, I'm talking about finding direct shipper opportunities. So sorry if I didn't mention that in the beginning, but that's basically what I'm talking about in this scenario. And going direct, you are going to reach out to a lot of businesses, and there are people that are going to reject you, and that's okay, you know. But understand that are are just people, you know, no matter who you are reaching out to. Um, Again, there's so many different things that I want to touch bases on, but I'm going to try to wrap this up. Not sure how much time I've used up, but I will say this. I don't know how this is going to go over, but I will use it, and I'll probably use it again. But the way I look at it is, you know, when in life we have an image or a vision of the way we think things should go, right? And it looks nice and pretty and all together. And we might even see other people in that vision, right, that we have, in that image. And it looks like they've got it all together. So, you know, everything is in place. But we know life is not that way. Um, if this is what we are trying to accomplish, well, let's look at it from this standpoint. Okay. The question is, where are we at today? Where are we at? What do we look like? If we're trying to get to that point of success, all right, we have a goal. I want to look like that, or I want to be that, right? Well, there's going to be some work that you have to put in to get there. Because what we see when we look in the mirror is probably something like this, right? There's a lot of confusion there. I want to do sales, you know, I want my company to grow. I want to be good at that, or whatever it is that I want to be good at. But in order to get there, I have to figure it out. Okay. So to figure it out, I've got to start somewhere. And there's many ways that we can start. You know, we can go to the internet, get a lot of information about whatever topic that is. We can have mentors. You know, people, there are plenty of people that have been where we have been. I mean, you got to pick that person or those people. You know, just anyone. You don't want to, you know, you don't want to pick anyone, but you've got to find the right people that you can go to and that can help you and that can support you in that can be a mentor to you. And that's okay. You do not know everything. They did not know everything when they started out, you know, but we've got to start somewhere. And with that information, we start making moves, right? And those moves, they don't always seem to be producing what we're expecting, not right off the bat, you know, but it takes time. And over time, we find some wins, right? The wins don't have to be big, but recognize them when they do come. You know, it's going to be a stair step. It's going to take some time for you to get there. So it's not going to happen, you know, it could take a month, it could take 2 months, it could take a year before you figure out before things even make sense to you. All right. And that's okay. But have a plan in place for your growth. All right. And as time goes on, things are going to look like you're figuring it out, like you're getting it, like it's clicking. Finally, something is clicking, right? And one day, yeah, it's gonna click. I mean, you're gonna have some success. I mean, you're gonna really have some real success. But guess what? Everyone is not going to feel your success. There are going to be people who, um, like I said, close friends, family, they might not take joy in your success for whatever reason. I have no idea why that would be the case. But for some reason, they won't. And so with that, sometimes we feel alone, right? We can feel like, okay, is this worth it? But you got to remember that the vision was not given to them. It was given to you. You know, you'll hear a lot of noise, but what you've got to do is understand you're closer than you think. Okay. And again, when it feels like that support that you might have had is gone, and now it's just you all alone, because it's going to feel lonely. It can feel lonely. Then you're going to have to really, really dig in and say, all right, I've got this. I can do this. I've come this far. And it's not going to feel comfortable, right? It's going to be challenging. But that's when the growth comes in, you know? But you've got to push forward. You just got to push forward. And eventually, you'll feel it again. Okay? And you'll realize, you know what? I think I got this. But then again, you might not. So what if you're almost there? What do? You can go back to that mentor, right? Try to get some help. You can go out and try to find someone else that you know that can be a part of the solution. You know, but it doesn't mean that it's going to happen just like that. You just have to keep putting in the work. Does this look like it looked in the beginning? No. But we're close. So I'm going to leave it here and we'll keep working on this and we'll see what happens next time we get together. But we're close, okay? But we just can't give up. You can't give up. You've got to get outside of your comfort zone, okay? It's not going to happen overnight. To get to this point, you know, you might not have seen all the work in the background to figure this out. It might have taken 5 years. It might have taken, you know, me reading a book, which I never did, but it might have taken 30 years to figure this thing out. But you don't give up, especially if you're hearing a lot of noise. All right. So get outside your comfort zone, work on that. You know, one of the things you could do this week until next week is write down some things that, you know, that keep you in your comfort zone and, you know, and just try something to get you outside of your comfort zone, such as talking to people. You know, when we get on the phone, we feel like we're going to be rejected, right? there is no reason to allow that to keep you from your goals. Okay. Go out and try to talk to someone, right? Go to the store and purposely say hi to someone, purposely give someone a smile, purposely compliment someone on their clothes or whatever it might be. Maybe they're in the grocery aisle and be like, oh, wow, have you ever tried that? Whatever they put on the counter, right? Maybe it's bananas. I don't know. Maybe it's a certain type of drink, and ask them about it. Listen to them. Let them talk. Ask them questions. See what happens. Do it to another person. See where it gets you, right? And that you learn to do, you can take that into your professional life. And you can do that at work. When you're on the phone, how was your week? And how was your weekend? Oh, you guys went where? Really? Can you tell me about that? I've always thought about going there. I've heard about that. Did you guys have a great time? What did you enjoy the most? All you're doing is connecting with another person. And it makes it then easier to talk about business. Okay. All right. So I hope this helped. I know that this was a lot of stuff, man. It felt like it was out of order. It's not in my comfort zone, but I'm gonna work on it. All right. I'm gonna work on keeping the time within the 30 to 45 minutes and all that. This is a work in progress. So I really do appreciate the time, and I hope you guys have a great weekend. All right. Send me a message if you want. Tell me what you think. Be honest. I'm thick-skinned, and I really, really, really want to make this work. Okay. All right. Thank you guys. Have a great weekend. Take care.